Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Devil May Cry 5 Dante Must Die video walkthrough. This is mission 5, and we're once again playing as the Mysterious V. So this was the second attempt, funnily enough, because, not for the rank, but because these rats spawn into your room filled with, I think it was 4 rats, and the ceiling's low, and the walls are tight, so you don't have great mobility in here, and you can get caught very easily. I actually died in here, and that's why it's the second attempt. Beating up on the rats at least gives you a somewhat good score. You know, it can boost your score a good amount if you manage to taunt and stuff. But I don't like to mess around with the rats too much or do much fancy stuff with them because they're just so dangerous. You can't really afford to. And what I've noticed is that they tend to devil trigger a lot sooner than other enemies. I don't know what it is, but as you can see, once devil triggered, and he wasn't even on half HP, even on a half HP yet. And I don't really understand why it's like that. So right now I'm trying to find a place off screen to try and read my book or do a taunt or something. And it's not really happening because I know that without Nightmare in this fight, it can get hairy very quickly. Because Nightmare kind of attracts the enemies. Now I get one, so that gives me demo double trigger back if I need it. I get two by chaining the executions. So it's not going too badly. I'm on double S. It could definitely be going worse, and I don't know where the other rats went because there is another one in this room. Because I'm confused. Once I kill this guy, I think I'm finished. But if you actually know, is that it? Oh no, there's one there. There he is. So I don't really know where he was off to. It's a wee bit strange to me that they can pop off screen like that sometimes, because I've had a few occasions, just when recording, when I was playing the game beforehand, I never really saw it, but right now, it seems like the enemies tend to walk into walls and stuff sometimes. And it's happened on a few occasions, in fact, hopefully I'll be able to show you a few Nero occasions where the enemies actually started walking off screen, voluntarily. Mission 8's a great example of that. The next mission is tough as well. This is this is a pretty easy mission with a pretty easy boss fight. You get one very good fight. The fights up before the final fight and then the boss fight are kind of alright, so I can understand why you'd be a bit scared of dropping score because if you watch my score here at the end of this, my score is not good enough. I think it's 4,500. Yep, 4,651. So it's not enough to S rank at all. So I'm cautious now of I have to do better in these upcoming fights. And unfortunately, it doesn't really go my way. I get caught out quite a lot. I don't really seem to build style as efficient as I could. And one of the main reasons for this is because you have to fight a Judaka. And I've already took too much shit about the Judakas, but they are bad. They are very bad. Funny enough, I'm trying to get my familiars up here, and fucking Gilgamesh is that hits me. I was not happy. I try and break it here. I don't think I managed to. I don't really know what this does, to be honest with you. If this is something a lot massive or if you can help, I really don't know what it does. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Running the wall there. So this fight, I was trying to save that gas barrel for the Judaka because fuck the Judaka essentially, and that gas barrel will very much help. Unfortunately, I think Griffin catches it, and it doesn't actually do any damage to any enemy, so it's unfortunate that was wasted like that. See, I was really trying to get them away from it. See, Gilgamesh makes this a wee bit tougher than you think because he kind of, circles around there and your lock-on can kind of, stick to him sometimes. I think it's about here where Griffin lets go of the level 4 or 5 charge. Yep, there he is, and it hits and it doesn't kill anything. It's a waste. It's a big waste. Normally I would tell you don't use them because they kill style. They give you a decent amount of style points, but the damage that they do to the enemies is bad. And it can obviously result in you getting less style than you should for certain fights. And I actually am doing pretty well right now. I think it's when the Judaka shows up, I just drop style because I don't find them fun to fight whatsoever. And again, if you're good with V, you'll have no problem in any mission with V. Like I should be taunting, I should be reading my book, I should be doing a few things, but I'm not for some reason. I don't know why I'm not taunting. You know, that's pretty much. I get caught there. It's bad V gameplay, but I did not play this game to play as V. Fortunately, if V was in the entirety of this game, I wouldn't play it. There he is, Captain Noabhead. And we'll see how fast we actually get to kill him, because his health is high. The next fight will be against a Queen Impusa. Well, I think that's it, and I think that's it. So you're left with a few fights that are hard to style with in this mission. And these guys do not be. I haven't been. I don't believe I've been hit by one apart from in the first video, which was a wee jab from one. But they can hurt very badly, and they can kill your animals very quickly. Now what I'm trying to do here is, if you don't know, the closer you stand to your downed animals is V, the faster they actually revive. So it's handy to have. There's a taunt for some reason, and we'll just try and put this guy down as fast as possible. If you're better than me, you'll be using the pincer move a lot. But look how much this guy's teleporting around. Like that's a great move because it does a lot. It does a lot of damage and gets rid of this guy quick. But if you have an enemy you don't like with a Devil Trigger Shadow and just do the pincer. That's the only advice I can give you because he's that's his most damaging move. And you'll see in mission, what is it, V's boss rush mission, that it does insane damage to his bosses. In fact, I would arguably call it Shadow's best move. And I love some of the moves Shadow has. But right here I Devil Trigger. And that's the instant revive by companions, get them up, because I wasn't good at dance around, and I'm already tired of fighting this guy. Because he's just not fun to fight, and there he goes. I stop Devil Trigger and hit this guy, and that's the end of the fight. And I think I might be at like 4,500, because that wasn't a good fight. Gee, yeah, that was a really bad one. So past here, you can get into a secret area there, but if you use Nightmare, you can get into the secret area. I believe it's either this area or the next area, and it contains a blue orb. So do be aware of that. In fact, I would advise strongly before you come into Dante Must Die trying to S rank that you get all the upgrades. Get all characters moves, get all the health upgrades, and get all the Devil Trigger upgrades. I would advise you to do that because it makes the game not easier, because you can see there that was one hit in V and haven't got any more health. Enemies will still like 3 to 4 shot you, some of the bigger ones, but that's what you expect on Dante Must Die. It should be that difficult, it should be that difficult for a good reason. This is not a mode where you can mess up a lot. Even if you are only going for C ranks or D ranks or A ranks, you can't mess up a lot because you'll get punished. And that's why I like Dante Must Die in this game, because it's not bullshit like the other ones. And the ranking isn't too bad if you know how to game the system effectively. Now Nightmare's doing a really interesting move here. If he did this move more often to bosses and he didn't miss like he just did, I would love him a lot more, because that can do some juicy damage to bosses. Like that can tank bosses' HPs like you've never seen before. If you've never saw Nightmare wipe out a boss's health pool with that move, it's a sight to behold. But he doesn't do it very often, and when he does do it, he misses. Now look at him. This creature just, I don't know. I think he looks like dog shit in this game compared to Devil May Cry 1. So I'm gonna try and read the book here, but this thing will, for some reason, I don't know what it is, magnetizes the V. Look, it started to move looking at Shadow and Griffin, and then jumps straight to me. Which is kind of the experience you get in a lot of co-op games where the boss switches targeting quite often. That's what you get with A. For some reason, the enemy seems to switch targets a lot, even mid combo and stuff like that. This Queen and Pusa is really wrecking my day for some reason. It's just not going very well at all. But I bring in Nightmare again and we'll get it over with. And I think I only get like what 4,500 again for this fight. I wasn't doing very well on this mission up until the final fight, where I knew I had to. That was it, make it or break, or else it'd be a third attempt. And the sooner I can get V's missions over with, actually no, I improved my ranking on that fight, 4,825. So in the next fight, if I perform well, it'll be enough. And I just did. What really puts me off playing this game or making guides on it is playing V. Because unfortunately, I don't think I'm good enough to give you good information on what V does or how to play him effectively, or because I think a lot of them relies on chance, which is unfortunate to say. Again, the animals have to be on screen for you to. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get the dance move out. I'm trying to remember how to do the dance move, because the dance move again takes you up to triple S. At this stage, I'm panicking, trying to get the S rank because I do not want to go through this mission again. It's very fighting Gray on the horse, Cavalier Angelo on the horse is not very fun. I don't really like the boss too much. I think it's just long. If I fought it with any other character, I wouldn't mind, but it's just not fun as V, I don't think. So here, I'm gonna show you how I should be playing V the entire time. I'm gonna taunt. I'm gonna do everything I should be doing that I'm not doing constantly. If you do what I'm doing in this fight, apart from getting hit, do not get hit. You'll have no trouble getting the S rank. and you'll have a much better experience. You won't have to panic yourself like I'm doing right now. But this is showing you that even, if you've got a good fight, you can actually recover fairly well in some of the missions anyway. In mission 8, mission 10, maybe even mission 11, you have to kind of, if you don't get good average fights constantly in those missions, then I would say maybe you're better off restarting. But missions like this where you can kind of take your time, it's not that bad actually. I think this game is pretty good when it has missions like these. But what's going to spawn in straight after these guys is 3 nobodies, and 3 nobodies take a pounding. So you will gain a lot of style. And that's why they're even talking about the boss, where it's not hard, so you can kind of get a good style on him. But the problem is the boss runs away a lot, and V doesn't really have any tools to get him to the boss. And once again, you'll see a lot in this video while I'm fighting the boss, is that what happens is my animals, especially Shadow, flies in the slow time thing, and gets hit, and dies. I don't know why they made the animals walk around by themselves. I understand maybe they're trying to, get them into position better, but it's a fucking pain in the ass. And I really don't think it should be as bad as it is to play. So I'm up to triple S, but the worst thing is you have to wait for these enemies to spawn in. I think I might try and taunt here to try and boost it a bit, but it was too soon after my last taunt, so I will have to make it up somehow. In fact, I think this is one of the fights where one of the nobies just pisses off into the corner somewhere and stays there for the entire fight. So I'm on S. I'll have to build up the triple S as fast as possible here. So what I'm going to attempt to do, if Nightmare doesn't kill them, I'm going to maybe let the green things heal these nobodies, and I get a bad hit. But executions will also build you around quite fast, but what I'm going to try and do is let them heal the nobodies. And then maybe build up some style off them, but unfortunately I only managed to get one heal off before Nightmare killed him. So I'm trying to look for the enemy to execute, because it's all kind of a clusterfuck on screen at the moment. There he is, Shadow's just doing what he does best, with being off screen doing nothing. So I decide it's time to focus on one of them. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and get them over to this lower health one. Maybe keep the other one off screen for a bit, because I want to build triple S right now. Because I really didn't want to have to play this mission again. Those rats taught me a very valuable lesson where you really don't underestimate them as V. Because V just doesn't have as many options for, blocking damage or evading damage as the rest of the characters do. So right now, what I'm going to try and do is kill them. Because if I kill if both of the nobodies who have got triple S, my CL points will skyrocket. I think I get something crazy in this fight, like 6,500 or something big, and it means I could even mess up at that stage and still, get the S rank, which should give you some confidence, because I wouldn't say looking from a gameplay it's amazing gameplay. Like there's one execution and there's two, both on triple S. Now let's have a look here. There is one more optional fight you can do if you're low on style points, but I think I have enough. 5,276. Okay, so maybe not as high as I was saying, like nothing crazy. But that's a 400 increase to style. 400 points. So I could, as long as I don't die on the upcoming section, I should be alright for style. I don't really think there's a boss in this game where you can't gain style somehow. Even the boss fights that are only, the bot missions that are only boss fights, I don't really believe you can actually really lose style effectively off them. Too bad though. So I double trigger Shadow. I want to hit him with this. I think he misses. Yeah, he misses. That's never good to say. I want to see if I hit him with this, you will see the chunks it takes off him. But it's getting Shadow to do the move is the hardest part here. And see, to be fair, this boss doesn't have a lot of HP, because once again they knew V players would be new, so they had to balance the boss around a wee touch. You can't have ball breaking levels like Nero and Dante, because what the fuck would you do as this character? You're totally dependent on the AI, on your AI animals to do what you want them to do. Now that move there, the charge can catch you if you don't time it properly. And once this guy gets aggressive, now look at the damage Nightmare did with the belly flap. God damn, like Nightmare can do really well if he works. But yeah, when this guy gets aggressive and starts killing your animals, the boss fight can get a little hairy. See, that move is just dangerous. And see that double jump or a dodge, it's very, very, very dangerous. It's the one that catches me out the most. If you double trigger Shadow here, you've got a very good opportunity to hit him with the pincer before he completes the move. And even if Shadow dies, then you're not too bad, But I'm trying to revive him. I don't want to use too much Devil Trigger because in this fight, you need to revive your animals. You need to just use... I would advise you exclusively use Devil Trigger to revive animals because Nightmare's just not going to do the work you want them to in this fight. Nightmare, unfortunately, isn't good enough, especially in this fight, because this guy slows you down, slows your animals down. So they just are... And here, there's a really good bit later on, actually, where he is so focused on killing Nightmare that he keeps constantly attacking him. And allows my other animals to do a lot of damage. However, your mileage will vary. Because I've seen him attack Shadow, I've seen him attack Griffin, and I've seen him attack me and completely ignore the animals. But this guy is so obsessed with killing Nightmare sometimes, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, look right now. We just interrupted him. And especially later on in V's boss rush, you'll see how obsessed he is for some reason with all the animals. And my advice when he goes into this time slow mode, stay the hell out of his area because see, I got caught there. Doesn't do the most damage, but can hurt your rank a wee bit, you know. And you don't want that at the stage. You don't want to mess up now. But we're a little just over halfway till the boss is dead, and he just kills both my animals, and I don't have a lot of Devil Trigger. So what do I do here? I think I just decide to wait the animals out because he's not being too overly aggressive. However, I don't really want to tempt fate here. So there's Shadow back and there's Griffin back. Right, I'm in good stead. However, the problem here is that he'll start firing these energy balls, and he'll eventually start firing 2 of them and then 3 of them, and they'll hit your familiars. And the best way to save, you can only really save 1. The best way is just to spam the dodge of Shadow to bring him over to you, so that the energy ball misses. Or the best way also is to spam double jump if you want to save Griffin. I get hit again. I panic Nightmare. I just keep hitting him with any I can at this stage because I just want this boss to go down. And I was hoping Nightmare would do the big laser move when he was doing something like this. Because then he would just, maybe, you know, he would get caught in the laser and kind of get staggered, or he would just keep walking into it. Unfortunately, Nightmare never does what you want him to, and I finally hop on Nightmare when I don't want to. I'm trying to get off him. The only time I actually manage to hop onto that dog shit creature is when I don't want to. And both my animals are dead and I've got no Devil Trigger. This is when it gets dicey. And I'm in the stun. But the good thing is, you'll get you'll get an extended jump animation, and the iframes will extend as well. So if he's doing the ground move, you might be alright if you jump early enough. So back to this, back to dodge, and you know it's the simple stuff. This boss isn't hard. Really, none of the bosses in this game are insanely bad or tough or you know thing, apart from maybe Virgil at the end. Spoiler alert. But if you're watching this guide, I hope the fuck you played the game already because, well, again, you need to play the game anyway to unlock Dante Must Die. So you've played it by now. So Virgil's really the only fight that requires a lot of planning around for the player, because Virgil can kill you so fast in this game. Now, maybe not as fast as 3, and he's not as aggressive as in 3, but he has certain moves that make up for it. And this guy is just he's starting to do his empowered moves, and you'll start to see him get faster, and you'll start teleporting more. It's very hard for V to fight this guy sometimes. Because you're dependent again on familiars. V's offensive power without familiars is nothing. So what do? You're reliant on Shadow, and Shadow look, he's a dumbass. He misses everything. And again, if you can get Pincer off right here, you'll be in good stead. He's Devil Triggered, so he won't take as much damage, but it'll still be good damage because this guy doesn't have a lot of HP compared to the others. But watch, he'll start getting really, really, really fast about now. And there's the 2. He killed Shadow, and now he's killed Griffin. So try not to make this happen. Try and dodge with Shadow. I'd say dodging's your best fight for this stuff, like your best option in this boss fight. Try not to double jump. Shadow, that's what I'm talking about. Shadow walked up to the boss as he's doing an AoE and died. Like, why do the animals do this? I don't understand why they wander up to the boss. And he's just killed Griffin again. And I've had enough. I'm just activating Nightmare. At this stage, I'm just begging because when this guy hits this stage, I really don't know how to fight him at all. And you can tell because I'm on the back foot here. Usually against bosses, I try to be aggressive, but I'm on the back foot here because I'm with a character I'm not comfortable on, and I'm with arguably one of the most aggressive bosses in the game at this stage anyway, where he just non-stop attacks you. And I'm trying to keep Shadow out of the fucking time zone, and look, he wanders back into it. I'm trying to keep him out of it, and he'll wander back into it. And I'm not telling him to go in there, I'm not telling him to do moves or anything. I keep dodging him to keep him out of it. So I've Nightmared again. You'll notice that I tend to use Nightmare quite a lot in these type of fights because he's some of the best damage you can squeeze out of me. Even if he is completely fucking useless. And look, he's focused on Nightmare. Right now he won't do anything but focus Nightmare. And this lets me build damage like mad on him. This lets me do the moves I want. And I'm trying to get Shadow to do the pincer move and he's just not doing it. Because the camera orientation is kind of fucked up, and we're slowly but surely getting there. And this is a long video. It's but that's what V missions are. Usually V missions are quite long because I think they kind of intend bigger fights for V because he's got all the animals and he can, maybe I don't know what you want to say, maybe handle the bigger areas better. But I don't really see it. I see V as a weak character, unfortunately. I think a lot of people share the opinion of V is a weaker character on Dante Must Die. On the easier difficulties, he's insanely overpowered because again, you don't need to worry about things like Devil Trigger or your familiars down in 2 hits. You don't need to worry about any of that. Your familiars take a lot of hits to die, and so do you. And I started doing the 3 lightning bolts, so I'm spamming Shadow. But now watch this. I Nightmare. But look at the extended animation I get. The extended animation is giving me so many iframes at the moment. I didn't know this could happen. I survived there purely on the basis of I was in the animation, so I had iframes. I had iframes there for about 3 or 4 seconds, which is insane to think about because that's what I mean. You can kind of use this guy's time stoves to your ability as V, not as Griffin, not as Shadow, not as Nightmare. V. This is the one thing V can actually really start doing in this type of fight, is that he can abuse it because he's got such long animations. And it's interesting. Unfortunately, you don't get that many opportunities to do this type of stuff. Like such thing as abuse the enemy's abilities against them. And that's the end of the fight, funnily enough. It wasn't probably anything impressive to watch or that fun to watch, but it will get you the S rank, as long as you keep in mind the rules of V. So, just about enough to S rank at 200 points in. That's close. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care now.